Yeah, my problem big, but I know God way bigger. Woo. Yeah, my problem big, but I know God way bigger.
All right, so this is Livin Like Odom. We've got a guest with us today. The first of many, our number one guest, very first.
Number one.
I've known this guy 5 years?
2015, yeah.
5 years, yeah. The end of 2015, right?
Yeah.
I've known this guy like 5 years. We met, we're going to share the story how we met. This is kind of why we have him today. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And so this guy, when I met him, he was going through his own cancer battle. We just instantly connected. We had a lot of stuff in common, and then we just became really good friends, close friends. So I got to see him grow up into a young man. Trying to become a young man. You know. But he's got a very unique story, one that I think needs to be heard by a lot of people. Very inspiring story. He's inspired me a lot to continue doing what I still do. And I was just kind of a blessing to know him, so I think people will be blessed just to hear him and his story. And he's still young. He's a young whippersnapper.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So,
how old are you?
23.
23.
23.
I don't know why I was thinking younger. I think because I remember like when you turned 21, it was like, oh, he's 21, you know?
Yeah.
That seems like not that long ago, but
Yeah.
anyway, 23, that's awesome.
So yeah, Devon, what's up?
Man,
Devon Hinton. What's up, man?
Nothing much, man. Just doing my thing.
It's been a while since we've actually seen each other.
I know.
Because of all this COVID
Right.
stuff. Yeah. So
Try to
things
shut
been
us
good?
down. Yeah, everything's good, man. I feel healthy.
Yeah.
Staying busy.
You look good.
Yeah.
You've been working out
Bro,
still?
I'd say the same to you. Y'all out here looking ready to do CrossFit and whatnot. Man.
Yeah.
No, you look good, man.
Appreciate it.
So you staying busy?
Yeah, man. Non-stop.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
Between work and school, it's never
Keeps you out of trouble, right?
I mean, I'm not gonna get myself into trouble, but basically.
Cool.
That's good.
All right, man. Well, we'll just start from the beginning because a lot of people that are gonna watch this, they may have seen pictures of you with with you in some of my pictures.
Mm-hmm.
If they've been to ABI game,
Right.
they've probably seen you out there.
Right.
Do your thing, but I think people don't know your story, which is a unique
True.
story. So if you want to start from the beginning, man, so like where you grew up, how you grew up, just kind of take it from there.
Okay. Yeah. So my life started out in Odessa, Texas. My parents were never married whenever they had me. I spent my first 6 years out there. So finished up kindergarten, then we moved out to Arlington, Texas. And then that part for me was difficult because half of my family was out there. All my siblings were out there.
Are they still out there?
Yeah. Well, some they're all around, but for the most part, they're in Odessa, Texas. So I have people in New Mexico, Austin.
You go back there quite a bit, right?
I go about once a year, man. 5-hour trips is not something
We took you one time, right?
Yeah, I know.
So the desert.
Yeah, that was cool.
Anytime I could catch a ride, I'd much rather do that than to drive.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, I'll go out there about once a year, and it's always good kicking it with them because I mean, as much or as little time we spend around each other, we all click. And we all act very similar, which is crazy.
Are you the youngest?
I'm the middle child, or one of the middle child. So there's actually 12 of us total.
Oh wow!
Under my dad. Between my mom and my dad, it's just me.
Gotcha.
But just under him, it's 12. So I'm the third oldest. So I mean, I have people to look up to and have others that look up to me. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Nice. And they're all brothers, sisters, or brothers, or?
So I have three sisters, and the rest are brothers.
Gotcha.
So the sisters definitely know how things operate around us.
So when you grew up, what kind of stuff were you into growing up?
So I mean, some of the same interests now. I love basketball. When I was in kindergarten, actually, my favorite player was Allen Iverson. So
AI.
yes, sir. So my hair was long enough at the time that I had cornrow braids in my head.
You got them now?
I don't. I don't even know where the picture's at anymore.
I would love to see that.
If I find it, I will send it.
We could use it as a thumbnail for this video, actually.
Oh no! Hey, this isn't a blackmail video.
Two different people. But yeah, that was my favorite player growing up. All my siblings love basketball, football, any sports really. Grew up playing football, basketball, and still have brothers playing in high school out there.
So you went to school in Arlington?
Yeah. So from elementary even to college, I've been spending my school in Arlington.
So yeah, and you went to Mansfield, right? So
went
yeah,
to
we're pretty close.
Yeah.
That's cool. What? So I mean, were you pretty healthy as a kid? Or did you have issues?
I would say like, for my circumstances, I was pretty healthy. I had a whole lot of food allergies, so it took a...
Yeah, let's talk about that, because it's like going out to eat with this guy.
Yeah.
So, I thought I was picky, but
not
that you're picky. You have to be picky.
I'm picky. I'm picky and allergic to a lot.
I don't think I've ever met a person that's allergic to like 98% of the food.
It sure feels like.
So like what, like I guess just to break it easy down, what can you have that you won't die or get allergic
to?
So, I mean, bless my mom, because she cooks up the greatest
she knows
stuff.
The recipe.
Yeah,
right?
she does.
Awesome.
So I eat a lot of chicken and rice.
That's why you're so slim and fit, right?
I mean, I down all the carbs as much as possible. I can't pick none of them up. Retain them.
Sweets?
Yeah, I can do sweets. Well, no, not. I mean, as far as candy, like 98% I can't have.
Yeah. Well, what's like a major food like a lot of people eat that you're like, I can't have that? Like
eggs. So like just for breakfast, eggs, hash browns. I mean, it sounds delicious, and I wish I could eat that. But that's a popular one. Potatoes, corn. Like when it comes to Thanksgiving, everybody has all the good stuff, and I just have some turkey, chicken, rice, and apple pie. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I don't get to have the stuffing, corn.
Gotcha.
All that other stuff.
Is there like a food that you know you can't have, but you're like, I'm a little bit won't hurt? Because I thought there was one. Like one time we went to eat somewhere, and you're like, I'm not supposed to have this, but I really want this right now.
So I'm allergic to dairy as well, and if I'm really wanting a milkshake, I will give you a milkshake, or like a brownie sundae. I will go crazy on some ice cream. But if it comes to cheese, that's where I get real picky. I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So queso, can't experience
I don't care to have it. I mean, word on the street, it tastes delicious, but
I can concur.
Well, that's like me, and I love guacamole, and he won't even
it's disgusting.
try it.
Well,
I'm like, come on.
I think I could actually have guacamole, because I can
there
have
we go.
avocado. I can have avocado,
Yeah.
But you don't trust me.
Oh, come on. Homemade is best.
You don't want that.
So I guess then, as growing up, as a young child, so you, like you said, you're pretty healthy and stuff,
Yeah.
right? It was just kind of like the food allergies and stuff.
Right.
So, you didn't come across any major illnesses and stuff like that you can remember,
I mean,
right?
like really growing, I had troubles, I guess, quite a bit when I was younger with asthma.
Okay.
Just growing up in West Texas, there was a lot of dust going
Right.
around. It still is, and so it made it a little harder for that. And then also with allergies, like as far as like pets, cats, dogs. Sometimes I'll flare up my allergies to lead to asthma issues or to skin issues with my eczema.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I mean,
You had any close calls with anything to where it's like you got exposed to something you didn't know, and you're like, oh man.
So I don't remember it as well, but my mom told me that like when I was trying to eat eggs when I was younger, I was eating with my hands. I ended up coming in contact with my eyes, and they said my eyes looked like jelly.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And so that's one experience I'm not aware of, but that I've been
too
told.
young,
Another one is we went to a restaurant out in the Highlands, and I love fried pickles, and so I didn't even think about asking what it was made with, but it was made with corn flour. So I was just going crazy on them.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know how many I ate, but eventually it felt like my throat was starting to close up.
No.
I didn't have to go to the hospital, but it was making
Thank
it
goodness.
a lot harder to breathe. And, like,
Wow.
Wow. That's scary.
so I've never had to use my EpiPen.
Awesome.
People tell me I need to carry it around, but
I was about to ask you
But
if you had
thankfully,
one.
yeah.
I mean somewhere, but I don't have it
Somewhere, yeah.
Oh no.
You're like, my throat's closing, but it's somewhere.
right. So
You may want to find out where that is. just in
man, they
case.
cost so much.
Right. I've heard that.
I'm just gotten used to avoiding whatever I need to
Yeah.
avoid to make up for it. But even still, like,
Yeah.
and it's crazy growing up with my friend Austin. I'd go because after elementary school, I'd go over to his house all the time, and his mom would always be cooking up something, and she would ask me if I wanted to eat with them. That like it's basically like no every day because it was always something I couldn't have, and she didn't know at the time I had allergies, but I was just like I can't eat it, and so I don't know what she got from that. She just didn't think I liked her food or just didn't want it, but
He's kind of stuck up.
Probably.
I've gotten that before. I'm like, nah,
He just
But-
doesn't
I just
like
don't wanna
it.
eat your food.
Doesn't
Right.
like it.
I mean, on top of that, like,
I'll be the first. I'm against. I cannot stand potlucks.
oh no, I don't do that.
I don't like potlucks.
I bring my own food.
She'll eat whatever.
I'll eat it.
But people think I'm so stuck up because I
Yeah.
don't like. I'm like I just. Don't want. I just don't know. There's always some kind of casserole.
Yeah.
Some weird mixture
Right.
casserole. I'm
Casserole.
Right.
like, can we just have
I've
the
learned
regular
that.
like
I've learned that.
hams or rolls or why you gotta do some casserole?
Anything.
Man,
it's
same
easy.
here. I just like simple stuff, and like even if I can't eat it, like my family tries to get me to try stuff all the
Oh, I
time.
saw this in a magazine. I thought I was
Right.
like, come on,
Right.
now's not the time to try
Right.
stuff.
I'm like I don't want it, man. I like consistency. I like.
They're like, is that all you're gonna eat? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I understand. Yup. Same here.
So I get you. I feel you. So yeah, you're in Arlington.
Yeah.
Were you pretty popular? Did you have a lot of friends?
No, so like, I was cool with everybody. I wasn't one of the cool people, but I mean, all my life, I don't know really why, but I seclude myself a lot. I like just not get involved with different groups.
I don't know what that feels like at all.
Not at all.
What you mean?
Exclude yourself from everybody.
He's like that too.
Maybe that's why we click so much.
Right,
Yeah.
You don't want to be around people? I don't think
I just don't like attention, man. I don't
That's
like
what it
being
is.
the-
It's not like you don't want to be
But that's
around
how people take it.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think you're stuck up or you're too good, but
Nah.
it's like that's farther from the truth. Like
Exactly.
I'm just good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I get that. I
Right,
think that's why we
right.
connected so well because I'm the same way. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good, but I mean, I was cool with people who called like the popular people and the people who weren't popular. Like, I guess I was somewhere in between, but I didn't really try to put myself in a classification just because. I mean, just in life, like people have been doing that forever, especially in schools. Like even now, in college, they still do that, and like they'll say, "Oh, that stuff goes away once you get out of high school, once you go to different places." But I mean, people still form their own cliques, groups, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't like to associate myself with one group of people. I like to be able to interact comfortably with other people and not change who I am.
Yeah, yeah. Because like, not that it matters, but like your authenticity. How do you say it? Your race, whatever. Like,
Yeah, ethnicity.
yeah, I can't say it.
I was trying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Guess what you were saying?
So you're both, right?
yeah. So it's a half black, half white.
Your mom's white, dad's white, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
white. My dad's very light skin. But yes.
Yeah.
So is that kind of why you felt like you blended kind of with everybody or wanted to get with everybody? Or
Yeah,
cool
I
with
mean,
everybody?
in a way, to me, it's like a bridge between, not just between the black and white race, but like just with other cultures and ethnicities as well. Because I have friends who are Filipino, Asian, Hispanic. Like, it's just something I can share in common with everybody else. And then, I guess one challenge with that is that if you're around, like, say if I'm around, like, predominantly my black friends, like, I'm not black enough. for that, or if I'm with my white friends, I'm not white enough for that.
Right.
So I mean, that might be like the only challenge I face, but I don't really think much of it because I can't change it.
Yeah.
And so I don't have a problem with it.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like
Exactly.
you don't even really see a race. It's just you're a person, you know.
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah, I got you. So what age were you about when you started noticing, I guess, your health started feeling different? Maybe, you know, started having some pains or whatever.
Like as far as cancer.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
way to drop the ball, but yeah. Or the bomb on him, but yeah.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
I was leading up to the big
Bruh,
story.
That's all right.
No, I'm joking.
it's okay. It's all good. I'll go ahead and spoiler alert that.
Yeah, it's all good.
But
When did it start?
right, so
Or how did it come about?
it started like as late, or I guess as early as like probably February of 2015.
Okay.
I was playing just some pickup football with guys from just my friend groups and guys from the youth ministry at the church I was at, and so we're just out playing football, and then it's given that guys are going to be aggressive, and so me and a friend were both going for a ball, and our two knees collided. And at the time, I just thought it was just like a bruise, but it was a bruise that was lasting like 2 weeks. And so
Was it purple and all that, or no?
not like I don't visibly bruise easily, so it didn't look bruised, but it just hurt a lot. And then I was just thinking that, okay, I guess it could be a bone bruise. I mean, I didn't have any kind of medical knowledge. It's
Swelling?
just, yeah, it swelled up. It swelled up for a week, and then the swelling went back down. And then with me, like I'm never in a rush to go to the doctor, so
I'm the same way.
It'll
go away.
Yeah,
Just give
that's
it time, right?
That's exactly what I did. And
Help us for us mathematically challenged. So how old were you at that time? 2015.
I was 18. So
18.
yeah, I just turned 18. Yeah.
Math in my head. I don't know.
Well, for those watching also.
But yeah.
So 18 is when you had this
You were
incident.
out of high school?
No, I was still in high school.
This was your graduating year?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
senior year.
So like what, 3 months you were graduating? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so you have the pain. 2 weeks go by, you still have it.
Like after the 2 weeks, the pain like gradually went away, and it wasn't until the summer where I started feeling it again.
So you did graduate and still had the pain, but you were like, it's just a bruise.
Yeah. And like I was going to play now sand volleyball, basketball, and it basically
living your life.
Yeah, any sport that I could play. And then it just got to the point where it would hurt after physical activity, and then it would hurt to run. Then eventually it hurt to start walking, and then
How about like resting, like just laying there? Did it throb or ache or anything like that?
I mean, I would say I have a pretty high pain tolerance, so I mean it was something little to me,
Yeah.
and I didn't think nothing of it. If anything, I just thought it was like growing pains,
Yeah.
something like that. And so, but in the summer, I went on a mission trip to Ecuador, and it was still hurting quite a bit at the time, but I was still playing soccer with some of the other kids there, and then like I took a shot to the knee like from the ball, and then like that's when I could really tell that something else was going on, because I was just limping like the whole rest of the trip. And then eventually started college the month after, so in like August. So I was I was out in College Station for about a month.
Are you going to A&M?
I was going to Blinn, so it's like Tarrant County College here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I started out there, and I was playing on.
What made you want to go all the way out there?
I needed a change of scenery, man, and
Yeah.
I still think I do every now and then.
Were you staying at the dorms or your apartment? Or?
Yeah, I was in an apartment complex out there.
By yourself?
I had a roommate,
Okay.
so
So you're in College Station. When you get back from your mission trip?
you said what?
Back from your mission trip, you were at College Station?
Yeah, I mean there was like maybe a few weeks in between the mission trip and then moving there, but yeah.
Okay.
So you're far away from home.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, were you like telling your mom kind of like, hey, this is going on? Or did you kind of keep it to yourself and just.
I mean, I kind of kept it to myself.
To not worry her or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, again, like, I'm never rushing to go to the doctor, but it was just getting so bad to where I was taking so many pain pills a day.
Oh,
And
wow.
just to try to get rid of the pain. And
So you'd seen a doctor for it then?
yeah,
At that
I
point?
see. Yeah,
Okay.
so I got an X-ray done like probably in February, March, like soon after when all the
Okay.
when I thought it was first.
Oh, when you first
When you
got
first-
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Because that was different for you, right, Scott? Because initially they didn't even take any pictures or anything,
No,
right?
I was much younger.
Mhm.
I was 10.
Yeah.
I was 10, so,
So
they
they
they initially just had growing pains.
yeah.
Right.
Whereas he had an injury, and so.
Yeah.
But yeah, you went to the doctor right after,
Yeah.
And they did an
like
X-ray?
about a couple weeks after.
Yeah.
just to make sure you didn't break it or something.
Yeah, because it was still causing quite a bit of pain, and they did an X-ray and said it
Looked
looked
okay.
good. Yeah, like
okay.
nothing to worry about.
So that's why you initially thought it was bruised.
Yeah, and
Gotcha.
then I mean, even at the time, the doctor said you might would want to go get an MRI just to make sure, but by the time like the pain started going away, so I wasn't really worried about it.
Yeah, okay.
And so the MRI came months later,
Okay.
which would eventually be the same day that I would be told I might have cancer.
Okay.
So when was the MRI? What month? Was that?
I tell you the exact day. So it's September 25th of 2015.
Oh wow, so it's
Yeah.
coming up, huh?
Yeah.
Coming up, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 25th, and then, did you come back home to have the MRI done, or?
So like I was just planning to come get the MRI done. Hopefully, get whatever medical information I needed for it. But so I didn't pack anything with me at all. But so
You just came up here to get it done, or back home to Arlington to get it done?
Be right.
Okay.
And that was probably the most excruciating experience I have had to do as far as with that, because I couldn't straighten my leg all the way out, and so for the MRI,
Yeah.
they kind of had to
Sit there for
You have to
like
position
long
a
time.
Yeah.
certain way.
and be still.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I kept moving around quite a bit, and almost started crying because I just couldn't sit there like that,
Yeah.
and
Pain was that bad. Huh?
it was. Yeah, it's like,
Oh,
and
wow.
it'll take a while for me to get to that point, but it was just that bad, and they couldn't get like a very clear image
Yeah.
of it, but they got enough to.
So
raise
when
some
did your
concerns.
results come back, or did you go back home and then have to come back?
No, so I had the MRI done like early afternoon ish. We had gone back to my home here in Arlington. As time passed during that same day, and then later that night, the doctor told us we need to come up to the clinic.
Oh, same day.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it went because my mom works for the clinic too. So I mean, it kind of circulated a little faster.
Got you. Okay.
So we came to the clinic. Was told to sat down, and then like even at the house, my mom told me that we got to go, and I could just see tears.
This was at night.
Yeah, so I could see tears pouring down in her eyes, and I didn't know why. I just knew that it had to do with me, and so I didn't know what news was about to come up or it.
So the
What
drive
you
there,
think
what are
about?
you thinking? Because it's just you and your mom going, right?
No, well, like I was driving home, or I had a friend that was out there in College Station. I rode with them on the way back home, so I didn't have to drive personally, and I wasn't thinking anything of it.
Yeah, but when your mom says we got to go to the clinic.
Oh, from the house to the clinic.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
On y'all's way there. Like,
Yeah.
Knowing that you see your mom and you, all right,
You
something's
know
up.
something's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going through your
Yeah.
mind that whole time?
Like, cause me and my mom have a real tight bond, so I'm just thinking I don't know what I'm about to go through.
Yeah.
I texted my youth pastor, Warren. He was
Yeah,
at our
yeah,
game. I said I don't know what news I'm about to be told, but please go and pray for me. And then,
But you felt something was up.
yeah, like, cause I don't ever see my mom cry the way she did.
Yeah, I got you.
And so, yeah,
So y'all, when you get there, y'all meet with.
yeah, with one of the family doctors there who read the MRI, and we told us sat down, and then I've never really known what cancer was until then. I guess I've just always perceived it as like a death threat,
Right.
or not a death sentence, I
Right.
guess.
Right.
But
So you didn't know anybody or family friend that had cancer before?
well, my grandfather had like
Just stuff you see
skin
on
cancer.
TV,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Nothing that really.
Or you hear the worst or
Yeah,
type stuff.
yeah. Because I mean, even back then, they were still showing all the St. Jude commercials.
Yeah.
And so that's really
that's the vision you see in your head. Yeah.
And then I see those commercials. I'm thinking it's bad. I hear people's outcomes from cancer, thinking it's bad. And so
Right.
I didn't know what I was about to go through, or if I'd even be there after everything was done. But yeah.
So you got diagnosed pretty much that night.
Yeah.
Same day you had the MRI.
Yeah, and then I had a biopsy the following week just to confirm it, and that day wasn't as hard because I mean I already accepted the fact.
Yeah, you knew you had it.
Yeah.
And you had this done where? Your biopsy?
I had that done at, I think it's called Plaza Hospital. It's just out in Fort Worth, out in downtown. So we had that done there, and I even started, or I didn't start treatment there, but they were planning for me to.
Yeah, because your story's kind of, this is where it kind of gets unique because you're 18.
Yeah.
You just get diagnosed with cancer. And what cancer did they diagnose you with?
Osteosarcoma, so otherwise known as bone cancer.
And it was in your knee?
Left tibia, left knee, yeah.
Or, yeah, your tibia, yeah. And that was the only spot they saw?
Before the amputation, it had looked like it may have had like a little small spot onto the femur too, so that's why they went with the.
So you had more than one spot, it looked like.
Well, it was starting to approach 2 spots, but it was mainly just 1 spot for the whole entire time.
But yeah, I think the way your story's, because you're 18, so you're technically not a kid,
right.
and you're technically on the edge of an adult,
right?
But you end up doing your treatment at Cook Children's. So how did you end up at Cook's?
So, like one of my classmates from high school that I went to, we actually did like a kind of a fundraising event for her, and we weren't really in contact much during high school. I just knew who she was, but once I got diagnosed, she was one of the first people that reached out to me. And I knew very well who she was, and she was telling me how she had been treated at Cook Children's, and even still was, and just talking about the environment there, and talking about her whole experience with that. And I'm just like, dang, like if I want to get treated, then I want to be there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it was you requested it. They didn't like say, "Hey, this is where we think you should go."
Yeah, because they were gonna have me starting at the Plaza Hospital in Fort Worth, and I mean I could just tell then and there that I didn't like the environment at all.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so it was
well, good for you for speaking up, saying, "Hey,
man,
I don't want to be around."
And that says something too.
Because that's, I mean, I think a big part of like going through something like that is your mental health. Like, if you're around like darkness or negativity, sadness, that's gonna affect your treatment.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas Cooks, they come in.
That made a big impact on me.
Yeah,
that's
for
awesome.
sure.
And that says something really cool about them, that they were willing to, come on, and take you as a patient. So that's awesome.
So who do you get hooked up with at Cooks for all your treatments, like doctor wise and all?
So the same doctor that was overwatching my friend that told me about Cooks ended up being the same doctor for me as well. So Dr. Albright, she was the adolescent young adult doctor, oncology doctor. So like I fit within that range, even though it was at a children's hospital.
Right.
And so that's how I came about with her. And then,
So what was your treatment like? Like, I mean, what did you initially start doing treatment wise?
I definitely started with the chemotherapy. I don't remember which drug it was first. So it was either Spline or methotrexate. I just know, like, when I first started, because my body was still relatively healthy, it didn't hit as hard until the later part of that year or later part of treatment. So probably around the time where you came and visited me in December is when my body was really starting to try to break down.
So you got diagnosed September 25th. And so you probably started treatment, what, 1st of October or something like that?
Yeah. Began in October.
And then you had to have a port, I guess.
Yeah, so
So a lot of people probably don't know what a port is.
Yeah, the same day that they did the biopsy, they went ahead and did the port placement too. So the port is just where they infuse all the chemotherapy drugs, saline for the IVs.
Yeah, so instead of sticking your arm and looking like a junkie, they just put it in the port.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen one of those either, so like I just looked down, I see the little dome sticking,
that's crazy.
sticking out my chest, and I was like,
So you don't get too sick from the chemo in the beginning?
not at first. Like I said, I still felt pretty healthy, but
Did they have to be more careful because of all your allergies and all that stuff?
so I'm not really allergic to many medications. I only had trouble with a couple of them. One was called Bactrim, but I forgot what that did.
I can't have Bactrim either.
Yeah.
So I know the first time I had that, I just broke out in a rash all over my body. And so they just went ahead and took that out. But no, as far as the chemo, I mean, I felt effects from it. Like, I just felt tired a whole lot more easier at first. And then the throwing up and all the other, like, heavier symptoms didn't come till, like, probably the second or third month that I was in. Actually, so I started in October. Thanksgiving was whenever my body was felt the full force of it.
Like wiped out.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had a high fever, was vomiting, couldn't keep food down, couldn't keep liquid down. And so Thanksgiving is as great of a time as it is for everybody's family. That always can be a dark place for me. Just reflecting on that year.
Yeah.
But that's probably the closest I've ever felt to seeing the Lord.
Yeah.
I did not think I was gonna make it out that weekend. Like I said, I was throwing up. I could hardly stay awake. I couldn't talk to people verbally. Like, I had friends that tried to text me, wanting to come visit, and I couldn't physically talk to them. So I texted them like, I can't even talk right now because my throat got so irritated from the chemotherapy.
So at that time, are you like at home and you go to have your treatments done, or are you in the hospital? Because I know you guys met in the hospital. So, were you always at Cook's during your treatment,
For the chemotherapy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, all of treatment, I had all my chemotherapy done at Cook Children's. And then towards the later part of treatment, like the last couple months, I would have one of the chemotherapy drugs, and then would be sent home.
Then you could go home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What who's decided amputation over a different kind of treatment, and how did you come to that?
So even it goes as far as like the first day that I found out that I had cancer. Like, I just asked my mom, like, so if they just cut it off, and then would I still be good? And she's like, that could be a possibility, but I don't know, because none of us knew. I just wanted it out.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, that was a hard decision for sure. Because I mean,
they left the doctors left it up to you.
yeah. So that.
So what were your options? Amputation and what else?
Amputation, limb salvage surgery, and then also a more recent one called the rotation plasty. But
Yeah.
I didn't really know enough about the other
limb
two.
salvage. What basically are they doing with limb salvage?
So it's basically like total knee construction. So they'll remove the bone and then insert with steel.
Yeah, so you still keep
rods.
your leg, but
Yeah.
you have all this rods and metal in
Right.
your
So
leg.
and then I wanted to still be active or get as close to being as active as I
And that would
was.
limit your activity.
Yeah, the limb salvage would for sure.
Okay. And then rotational plasty.
And I just didn't really know much about it at the time. I didn't want to try something that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And what is, I mean, so for people that don't really know what rotation is.
So they remove the femur all the way down to the ankle. And so the ankle joint eventually becomes the knee joint.
Right.
But they're still fitted with the prosthesis.
Yeah, they call it rotational plasty because they're rotating the foot.
Right.
Where
Downward.
the foot is backwards,
Yeah.
but the heel is actually your knee.
Right.
So you can put weight through your knee or weight through your heel.
Yeah.
Or that's where you weight bear.
Right.
Whereas an AK, like we are,
Yeah.
we're pretty much weight bearing on our ischial seat, our ischium.
Yeah.
So pluses and minuses to it. But yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you have a decision. What decision? Why did you end up choosing amputation?
Just between conversations I had with the doctor, my mom, I just felt like that gave me the best opportunity to still be athletic. And then I guess that it was the less possible chance for the cancer to come back because all the bone's gone,
Right.
essentially. So I mean, I felt comfortable with that decision. Like I still shed tears that day just because I'd come to reality that I would be losing a leg. But I mean, it wasn't really a hard decision.
Yeah. All right. So do you remember what day did you have the amputation? Do you remember the day? And all that?
January 5th of 2016.
Oh, so right at the beginning of the year. Huh?
Yeah.
When you were pretty comfortable with it and weren't like, oh man, this is it. Am I making the right decision? Because I know some people that I've met
Right.
that I guess they're like, hey, can you come talk to this kid or family? They're trying to make the decision.
Mm-hmm.
And I always feel weird because I'm like, one, like, I can't make the decision for them.
Right.
But it's like, I'll give them information.
You're right.
But some people that I meet, you can tell, like, they just don't know. Like, even to that day, they just don't know. And it's like,
Right.
and they're not that they're looking for me for an answer, but it's like, you just feel bad for them because, you know, it's like, it's a life-changing decision.
Yeah, you know what they're gonna go.
But when I met you, it was December 2015, so it was like a few weeks away.
Yeah.
And when I met you, you were just like, yeah, I'm getting it cut off. It's all good.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's not how you were, but you could just tell you were at a peace about it.
Right.
And so you just, I think from what Dr. Albright heard, I forgot who told me about you and said, hey, can you go meet this guy or kid? And I said, yeah. And you were playing 2K?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were playing 2K. So as soon as I walk in your room, like flashback hit me, like because I would bring my PlayStation up all the time, play video games, because I didn't. Back when I was sick, which was a long time ago, they didn't have all the cool stuff that they have now, like the Xboxes and all that. So I had to bring my own stuff. But I just remember it was like a huge flashback. As soon as I saw you, I think you even had your hat on backwards. I always wore my hat backwards. Like, it was just weird. Like, even though we looked different, I was like, man, this is like looking like at my old self.
Right.
But you could just tell you were at a peace about it, which I was like, man, this kid's gonna do all right, you know. And then just talking with you more, you could just. it's weird. Like people are like, how can you go meet these kids and feel sorry for them? I'm like, man, these are some of the strongest kids, families you'll ever meet. Like some of the most faith-based ones too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think our first connection was I was wearing a Unashamed shirt.
116.
And a lot of people don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And so you were like, oh, you listen to 116? And I was like, oh. Like you threw me off guard because I'm like, a lot of people don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And so our first connection was music, Christian music, hip hop.
Right.
And so we started rapping about that. And I was like, I don't know, it was just a connection. One, I mean, we've had cancer.
Right.
And then you said you were about to have an amputation and you were just like, yeah, I'm just ready to get it done. So, and then after that, I think you texted me that night or the next day. I can't remember.
It's possible,
but I remember I gave you my info and said, hey, you know, hit me up anytime.
Right.
And most of the time they don't. And I don't want to bother them. Like I'll check on them.
Right.
You were real persistent. You were just like, hey, thanks for coming. And I said, just keep me updated, you know, if you need anything. And that's kind of where our friendship began.
Right.
But so after your amputation, I mean, you like it's done. That you can't be like, this sucks, put it back on. Like, how were you mentally and physically?
So much similar to the day I decided to have the amputation, like that those thoughts had become reality. So I woke up, my leg was a lot lighter. So
yeah, you lost some weight that day.
Yeah. I made a couple of jokes about that. So I mean, I even told my family, like, I don't know how I'm gonna react when I wake up. Like I didn't know if I was gonna be sad, angry, upset, whatever.
A lot of people ask too, like, what's it feel like once you have it cut off? Like, I know what it felt like. I'm just curious what it felt like for you, if it's the same.
Well, like just physically.
Yeah, physically.
Like I just remember waking up and like I'm trying to sit up and like one leg went a little closer to me than the other. So it just felt lighter, and then I started tried to wiggle my legs, but only one wiggled.
Yeah, I remember like when I woke up, it was I didn't think they did it. Like I was kind of mad, and I was drugged up too, so I was who knows where my head was. But you wake up and it feels like, you know how you sit on your leg or your arm for a long time and it falls asleep. Yeah, you can feel it, but you can't move it.
Right.
And so I woke up and I'm like, why didn't y'all cut my leg off?
Right.
And they're like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
I'm like, it's still there. Like I can feel it.
Right.
And they're like, just look down.
Yeah.
And I look down and I'm like, oh, it's gone.
So,
and then I just fall back asleep. But it feels like it's there, but it's not there, which is a crazy feeling.
It felt like my foot was still there.
Yeah.
And, my toes were still there, but like you said, I looked down, it's not there.
Yeah. So you had to start PT and all that to like get back and all that.
So they started like physical therapy even before the amputation, just trying to get my butt, like just
to get you out of bed.
Yeah, just to strengthen and like you said, just get me out of bed. And then I really don't remember like what we even started with after physical therapy.
So after your amputation, are you done with chemo or?
No, so I think I had like 12 rounds total, but I think before the amputation I only had like 4, and then I had 8 afterwards.
So you had more chemo after?
Yes.
Even though it was gone?
Yes.
It was gone.
Right.
How did you feel about all that? Honestly.
It sucked, man. Like, just dealing with not having a leg no more, still having to go through some of the pains of not having it, like physical, mental, emotional, whatever. And then on top of that, just being drugged with chemo every week, every other week, that was physically breaking me down.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it was definitely very hard, and I wanted to get up and move around, but I physically couldn't as much. Or if I did, then I'd have to have crutches or a walker, which made it more difficult to move around. Just more of a hassle.
Yeah.
And so I would just end up staying in my room just the whole day, just playing Xbox, whatever. And at the time, I felt okay with that because I wasn't very social anyways. but the child life specialist would always come by, ask me if I wanted to come play cards, you know. And for a while, I didn't want to, just because I didn't want to get up and move. But eventually got to the point where I could get up and be myself again. So yeah.
So I know you're a believer,
Right.
and so even before all of this happened, so I mean, obviously from just talking with you, it sounds like your faith was a big deal and got you through a lot. And of course we have our moments, you know, where you're like, what's going on, God? Like, why?
Right.
So, you know, I guess if you don't mind talking to us a little bit about how you continue to keep your faith, and your mom as well continue to keep her faith throughout this whole thing. Like, you know, how is that? How did y'all do that? Because it was a lot, you know.
Yeah. So before I got diagnosed, I'd say I have a pretty strong faith. But when I got diagnosed, that relationship with God became a lot closer and more intimate. So it wasn't just feelings of happiness or joy that I had, but there was also feelings of anger and hurt that I could just express to the Lord. And I mean, people then and even now said, I don't know, like, how you could have gone through that. I'm like, I couldn't if it hadn't been for my faith, because me personally, I can't see how anybody can go through it without the Lord being Christ-centered. And it hurts to see other people who don't have that relationship go through that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say to the people that say, why would a God let this happen to kids, or why you got cancer, or aren't you mad at him? Questioning, you know, because I get that, not a lot, but I've gotten that before.
Right.
And there's really no easy answer. Like, I don't know, but.
Yeah. No, I mean, definitely at first I was like, why? Why did it have to be me?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just always trusted that God had a plan for me. I mean, I accepted it with patience, a lot of patience, man. But
now, when you say it got closer when you were going through this, would you say it was around the time when, because you said around Thanksgiving, you felt like, all right, my days are numbered, like I'm about to die? Is that kind of when maybe you felt like it was getting closer, or was it closer to, like, right after your diagnosis, you're like, all right, I need him?
Probably during that time where I didn't think I was gonna make it, because and like even just after, like, that wasn't one of the only factors that contributed. It was losing friend after friend after friend that
and that's sorry to cut you off, but that's kind of what's very unique about your story, or like how I think people can pull strength from you and what you've gone through, is because you've beat cancer, and you've come out on the other side of it, but you've met a lot of kids and people that were your close friends, or you grew relationship with because of cancer, that didn't make it. And when I met you at the end of 2015, I don't think you had a loss then, did you? Or maybe one or two?
Two at least.
Two at least. And then I meet you. And was I the first survivor you met, or did you meet another survivor?
Yeah, you're the first survivor that I came across.
And then after I meet you, and we grow this relationship and we're keeping in touch, it seemed like, what, every month? Or it felt like it, I guess. You were telling me, I lost this friend, and they all had cancer. And so I know mentally how that can affect you, because you're like, am I next? Or so, I mean, I don't know what you want to share on that, but I think it's crazy. One, it's sad, but it's crazy how you're going through this, you feel alone, and then you meet these other people that are going through it, and you can relate to them. But one by one, they're passing away. And I know we've met kids both of us have met kids and done events for kids that passed away. And we could talk about something after that, but like, just, I guess, I don't know, like, one, I don't know how you could go through it, but you just kind of said it like it's your faith
Right.
that helped you get through it. But it still sucks. It's still sad, and I'm sure it still affects you to this day. But
yeah, like even I would say after the third loss, I really felt like my days were coming up that I wouldn't be here. But I just felt God tell me that you're not done, and that I would say that's really what kept me together. It's because I didn't know what He had planned for me, but I knew He had something planned for me, and whether I would have made it out of treatment or not, it wouldn't be my plan. It'd be His.
yeah,
That's awesome.
So,
because one, you get hit with cancer, and you're like, man, and then bam, you get hit and you're losing your leg. You're like, oh, and then just another gut punch or side punch, punch after punch, like friends dying around you that have the same thing, or not the same cancer, but cancer in itself, and you're just like, I mean, you think about that scripture, the weary one. Vanessa's really good at remembering scripture. Lean on me, because you just feel beat up, you feel tired, you're like, what next type thing. So I'm sure you felt that way, or have felt that way. But,
yeah, definitely.
So I still deal with this, and I'm sure you do too. So I don't know if you want to share what you think, but some people probably don't know what survivor guilt feels like, or what survivor guilt is. But I have a lot of survivor guilt that I still wrestle with, even to this day, and I'm 21, 22 years out.
Right.
Did you ever experience that, or do you still experience that?
No, I definitely did, and I still do, because like you said, I was very close with my friends there, and then it was hard to just be able to look at the parents in their eyes and try to comfort them.
I remember, I think, because what was it, like a couple years ago, I think we lost 2 or 3 kids that we did the events for. And we went to like 2 of the funerals. And I know you were like, can you go with me? Or we were gonna go, but the day of, I'm like, I don't know if I can go. Like, I don't know, like just looking, like you said, the parents in the face, or being there knowing that their son passed away or their daughter passed away, and then you survived it. I just felt weird about it. But at the same time, one, they wanted us there because they felt like we were part of their family, and then we wanted to show support still. It's a sucky situation, and it's hard. And then I wanted to be there for you too, because I think you grew more of a relationship with these kids, because you were, obviously you're younger than me, but you would talk with them more, visit with them more, so you grew closer to them. And so knowing that you were losing friend after friend after friend, and still going through your own treatment, I knew it was going to be tough for you. So I wanted to be there for you too. But it was hard. Like, to be there at a funeral of a kid that had the same thing we had, and then we survived it, but they did. It's unfair. And I hate it. And then I think that's why we try so hard to do these events and help as much as we can. Not that we feel guilty of it, but it's just like, all right, we survived for a reason. Like, let's give back. So, do you still deal with that, even though how far are you out now?
So in July, praying that will be 5 years out.
Next year? That's the big month.
This July,
So next year, I thought you were close to it.
Okay.
But I still I guess deal with it every now and then, but I guess it wasn't as bad when it was in treatment. The way I look at it is, I know had those people still been here, they would be doing tremendous. I think they would probably be doing stuff better for the community than I could have ever done. That they always give back, or I know they would have given back. And so I just try to live with the peace that, like, they're still within me, like they're not gone. Even though they physically are, still wear them on my sleeve. And so, I mean, at the same time, it hurts because I wish I could have seen them grow in their own way, as people have seen me growing in my own way.
Yeah.
So that's really been the hardest part, and especially whenever it comes closer to dates that I know of, the person passed, it can be hard. Especially if I'm by myself, like I just sit and reflect on the times I had with them, and then the pain we had to go through during treatment.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So
yeah, it's hard for sure.
Well, I think you guys are definitely a walking testimony for sure. So, if anything, you're just inspiration for others. I know it's hard to see yourself that way, but I think for us who haven't been through something like that, and you think to yourself, could I have handled it that same way, or been able to go through it like y'all did? We don't know, but just that you were able to, and how you got to the place that you are now is just really amazing. So take credit for that, at least a little bit, because, and I know it's definitely a God thing, and so just being able to share that, and hopefully will give hope for other people. So we know where your hope comes from. And that's kind of like our message that we want to let people know too, that no matter what circumstance that you're in, you can definitely get hope from a God that loves you and cares for you. So yeah, I mean, both you guys are definitely.
I'm just so blessed that God put y'all in my life as well, because I don't know how I would have gone about treatment, or if I would have gone about it in a different way had I not known y'all, or I didn't have the mentor that you had. Like, even my whole life, I never really had like a mentor that I could specifically look up to in the similar ways. So, and then even after treatment, I mean, y'all gave me opportunities to give back with ABI.
Exactly.
And you knew I loved basketball. We both love basketball. And had it not been for y'all, I don't know what I would have or could have done as far as giving back to the community. Knowing me, I can kind of sit back on things instead of being proactive, and so that just gave me an opportunity to one, bring light that God has brought to us, and just give back to others like us, or just be an encouragement to other people in their own.
Yeah, man, I wish we could do more with ABI.
Right.
Like, I feel bad, all of us, a lot, and she knows more than anybody. We talked about it this morning, but just because you have all these ideas and give back, and you feel like, all right, this is what I'm supposed to do, because you survived a disease that you're not supposed to survive, and then you're doing something that a lot of people said you couldn't do, and then you do it, but getting the support and getting other people on board, it's which I think you've gotten a bit of taste of it since you've been on with ABI, but man, it's tough, and so I get discouraged a lot. But what keeps me going is guys like you. Even though there's very few of you, and you may be like the only one, but like you see a lot of potential and see what the whole purpose is giving back, And like initially we did a game. I think our second one, first one in Texas. ABI was for you. Yeah, we did it for you. You were still on treatment. And I don't know how I was gonna do it. I didn't know what to do, but I pitched you the idea, and I said, hey, I didn't want you to think I felt sorry for you, or like you needed help. But I was like, hey, like I'm starting this nonprofit. I left what I was initially doing. I said, but I'm putting on games for kids that are going through treatment. Would you be open for me doing an event for you? And I never know how people are going to take it. Some people, I mean, I've had people tell me no. I've had parents say, no, that's okay. And I'm like, okay, like, all right. But you're like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And so initially I was like, all right, I got to get this done. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And we just got a small church and filled it up at one side. I think it was all that's how much people, I think, supported you and loved you and all that. And so you got to be there, and You made a shot. You made a free throw. But I think you just got your leg though, right? Because you weren't running and all that.
Still trying to walk with it.
Even though we were raising money for you, like I think the reason we do these too is I wanted you to see your potential. Like you don't have to. If you want to play basketball, cool, but you don't have to. But like you can still run. You can still do whatever you want to do. Just so that was kind of the whole message I wanted to instill to you is, you know. You can do whatever you want to do, and then you already had the faith part. So I was like, as long as you got that, like you're golden, like you're good, no matter what you encounter. And then I think it was our next event. You were like, I'm playing. I was like, are you ready? He's like,
he didn't care.
I don't care. Like
He's
I just
ready
want to play.
anyway.
And it's not that you wanted to play.
No.
It's your heart. Like you wanted to give back.
Yeah.
And I knew that. And I was like, yeah, come on. Like I didn't care if you couldn't run. I didn't care if you couldn't shoot. But you're a better shooter now. I'm joking.
That first
but
game,
you wanted to get better.
Yeah.
So like you would say, hey, can I work out with you, or can I come shoot with you? And so you would drive to me, meet me at this church or this gym or this whatever, and like you wanted to get better physically, but I know behind all that, you just wanted to give back. And not just with ABI, because you were doing other stuff. I mean, tell other people what you were doing.
What else were you doing besides ABI to kind of help out?
You know what you were doing. Like, soon as you were done with your treatment, where were you at?
Oh, man. So I still have friends going through treatment at the time, so I'd still go back up to Cooks to visit them in a very similar way that you did. So I'd go up there, just kick it with them, because I mean I don't view them as any different than I am. They're my people. And so like I would go up there just to meet one or two friends, and it'd be another family or another kid that would introduce themselves to me or introduce me to their kids. And so I mean those connections just kept building on, and I didn't share the same faith with all of them, but I knew I wanted the best for them as much as possible, and so I just tried to encourage them in whatever way that I could, and it was a blessing to me because I didn't know how else to give back, and for what Cooks did to me, I know not everybody, or what they've done for me, not everybody sees that, and in a similar way, I wanted to kind of still be behind the scenes and be a light to others, but not make it as big of a deal. Because
I think that's why I connected with you so much, and that's why I respect you so much. It's because a lot of people don't know what you do. Like you're not on Instagram. Well, I mean, you are on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like we can share your stuff, but
right.
What I'm saying is you're not saying, look at me, look what I'm doing.
Right.
You know, and there are people like that out there, and I won't call them out. I mean, they do what they want to do, but like people that have been through something like what you've been through.
Yeah.
And then you lose friend after friend after friend after friend, and then some people would be like, I don't want to meet anybody else because I don't want to lose another person.
Right.
But you go on faith and be like, no, I still want to be a blessing to this person, no matter what happens.
Right.
You know, so that's strength enough and respectable enough. But then for you, every time you go up to the hospital, which you were going like almost, I think at one point they said, hey man, you need to like take a break. You're up here too much. Right. But like you wanted just to you just wanted that, and people don't know how important that is to like somebody going through something, just to visit with them. You don't have to say the right words. You don't have to like bring something. Just sit, listen, or sit and play a video game or whatever it was. So you doing that on your own, nobody's asking you to do it, but then you're not checking in like, hey, I'm here at Cooks, or hey, look at me. Like that's how a lot of people they want to, hey, look at me, look what I'm doing. And so that kind of, to me, questions their motive behind, are you really helping because you want to help, or are you helping because it makes you look good in your status, even though you've been through something. And so you're very much, you just want to help, and like you said, be behind the scenes. And I think that's how it should be. I think that's how, you know, I think it's super respectable, and I admire that way more than probably you'll ever know. And so I think that's why we connected so well, and that's why I wanted you to be a part of ABI, because I knew where your heart was. Even though I'm a better basketball player.
Right now,
Please.
3 more years.
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
But I knew you wanted to help people, and you were,
Yeah.
no matter what we did, if we played in front of 10 people or 10,000 people, your heart was going to be there for that kid.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's,
We need
and
him
you're
on our team.
23. You're 23.
Right, at 23.
And you were
that's
younger.
right.
You were
And
20.
You've already, yeah.
And you've already got that mentality and that heart,
and
which
that wisdom.
it's incredibly hard to find. Incredibly hard. You've got people my age that are still all about them. I mean, you can go on social media and find it, but you're not about Devon. You're about other people, serving people, and putting your faith out there. And you're not putting your faith in people's face. You're leading by example, which is even more amendable, more respectable, because you're not like, this is what you need to, blah, 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 the Lord. I mean, you lead by example, and I think that's super respectable. So
And just for me, like, just being behind the scenes, like, it just made it so much more authentic and genuine, and I was able to build a more personal relationship with them.
yeah.
Right.
Because I think the only time when I visit you that I posted something about me visiting you was to promote your game. And it's like, well, I gotta promote it somehow, because nobody's promoting our events.
Right.
So anytime I post something about a kid or something, it's to promote, you're helping this kid. You're not, I'm not blowing myself up or blowing ABI up. It's to help a kid.
Right.
The only way we're gonna help this kid financially is to get people to come out to the game.
Exactly.
And so, but you, I mean, I don't know, I just respect it. And then for you to be that young, you get it. Now, you were probably like that before you got sick, but I think maybe you going through that and seeing like, man, life is, and like you said, you felt like you were going to die. You kind of had to grow up a lot quicker than most people.
Yeah, and I mean, just being humble has been, I mean, I can be cocky a lot of times too, but
In 2K,
but staying humble.
we played 2K one time, and I was like, I don't want to play with you no more.
Yeah, I tried to tell you before.
He did. He's like, I'm nice on these sticks. I was
Yeah.
like, he can't be that. He tore me up.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, humble is how I try to keep it. Aside from me being competitive, I don't,
It's all good to be competitive, yeah.
right, but I'm not somebody that's about my own ego or anything like that. I could care less about my ego, what people think of me.
Yeah.
And people have asked, like, how do I feel about when others look at me when they look at my leg? I'm like, I mean, they can look at it, but they don't know the story behind it or anything like that.
Yeah, so I guess that's another, I mean, we haven't really touched on it, because, yeah, you're a cancer survivor, but now you're an amputee, so that's that whole different world,
Yeah.
because they're basically two different worlds.
Right.
So as an amputee, going out in public,
Yeah.
wearing pants, because it took me a long time to wear shorts,
Yeah.
because I was very self-conscious. I don't think I ever got that from you. I've kind of felt like you were comfortable already, but
Yeah.
like, did you ever struggle, like, looking different or people looking at you?
Yeah. I mean, I'll just mind my own business. I saw plenty of people.
No, I mean, I'll let you tell, and then we gotta tell a story.
All right. All right. But like, really, the hardest thing for me, I guess, being an amputee, like, I'm still able to do just about everything that I used to do. But like, if I go up to a gym just to play basketball, most of the time I'm shooting around by myself, which is okay. Like, I don't mind that. But I guess, like, I don't have as much. I'm not as attractive to play with other people playing pickup games just because I'm missing a leg. And I have had times where they've invited me to go play basketball with them.
Yeah.
And those were really cool experiences. But that's probably been the hardest thing for me. But I mean, like I said, they don't know the story. I mean, they've seen me put in work in the basketball court, and that sometimes seeing that is what led them to invite me to go play with them. But I was really, like I said, I can be seclusive, so me just going out shooting the basketball, I'd be okay. I don't need to play in a game or nothing like that.
Right.
Just to, I guess, feel good. But I guess that's really the hardest challenge I've had to face, and like still can face, because especially in college, everybody wants to do their own thing. So
So yeah, I think I want you to share how you were feeling, but like, so Devon would meet me after work almost every day for a while at Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
Because I had a membership at Planet Fitness, and you could bring a friend for free. And so Devon wanted to work out and all that, so I was like, just come with me, I'll get you in free. So you were coming there quite a bit with me, but I never see Devon get mad. I never see Devon like want to like almost, not that you wanted to fight people, but you would just get irritated. And it was kind of funny to me because I felt the same way too, but I guess I've been through it, so I'll just brush it off. But like, so we're working out together. We're wearing shorts. So there's, oh my God, 2 amputees together.
Yeah.
So like, what was going through your mind? Like, cause you would get pretty like,
Y'all are already
what are these
the
guys
circus.
looking at these?
Man.
Because I mean, you've already got guys working out in the gym
Right.
that think they're God's gift to the world,
Right.
and they're looking at themselves in the mirror, and they're taking selfies in the locker room, and I mean, it's ridiculous. And so that's already annoying.
Yeah.
And we just want to work out, get out of the way, do our thing. But then you got a group of like 4 or 5 guys that are your age, but totally different mindset.
Right.
And it's all about looking good and let's go work out next to this girl. And so they see us and the stairs and all that, and Devon's like,
Oh, like when
Devon's ghetto side would come out.
Yeah,
like,
when I'm working out, a switch flips at me. Like I'm just trying to mind my own business, stay in my zone. Like it'd just be crazy because I get done pumping whatever. I get up and look around, like I see people from every direction looking at.
It's like there's not supposed to be 2 of y'all in the same place.
Yeah.
Do y'all really think that that's
yeah.
what it is? Or, I mean, because I think sometimes.
Well, if I go to the gym, like if you wouldn't come with me and I would work out, and I look around, when nobody's looking at
But
me.
you have to
But
admit.
when we're together,
Well.
I mean,
But
all
you
eyes
have to
are
admit
like.
that is something you don't see every day.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that's
also.
It's just funny to me.
Well, sure. But I don't know if you look at that, man, I don't know. Like, maybe they're impressed because in their
One guy
minds.
came up to us and be like, man, wait,
Yeah.
oh no, maybe 2 guys.
Yeah, I think.
Man,
I don't know,
what y'all are
maybe-
doing is awesome.
Maybe
Keep
I'm
working
giving
out.
them a benefit of the doubt, but
No,
you
there's
know,
some guys that are, they were.
Well,
I guess you can tell.
No,
Y'all can
you-
tell.
Some of the Christians have to use.
You have to give
bad
grace.
words.
Give
Right,
grace.
right.
I'm like, bro, just do your own thing. Worry about
Yeah.
yourself.
Like you said, there'd be people up there looking at themselves, checking themselves out in the mirror, taking pictures.
I mean,
Yeah.
groups of guys taking selfies in the
Well,
locker room.
that,
That's what we're dealing
We don't
with
have
at
to
the
go
gym.
there. We don't have to go
but
there.
Planet Fitness in Crowley. I'm saying it right now.
yeah.
So I don't go there anymore. I'm like, I'm good. Like, I don't. I walked in. You would.
Didn't have
I
to
think it was
name
with
drop.
me. I was
Anyway.
like, did that really just happen in our locker room?
Oh yeah. I know exactly what. Yeah, I remember.
I don't guess women deal with that.
Why are
We don't deal with
group
that.
selfies with our shirts off in the locker
I
room?
don't think we deal with
Singing
that.
in the locker.
I'm just trying to put my bag in the locker and go work out.
Right. But
Sorry, I interrupted y'all's studio.
right.
photo session.
Oh my
Right.
goodness. That's funny.
But these are the guys that go in there and they've got the big watch, and
iron
mean,
bands, juice.
you need to
bars.
bow down to them because they're God's gift to working out. Like,
Yeah.
and they're making noise.
You
Ah!
You thinking about it too much?
I'm just like, what you
You did
going
one rep,
for,
bro.
Right. Right.
So I'm just thankful I work out at home now. and I don't
Yeah.
have to deal with all that, and I can take my own bathroom selfies in my own bathroom.
Yeah, you can,
Right.
but you don't.
I don't
Thank
plan.
goodness. So.
And then, like, I'll go work out at my school. And I mean, well, for the most part, most people see me there already. So they're kind of used to, like, probably, like, they're used to seeing you at
Yeah,
Planet
yeah.
Fitness. But, I mean,
It's just funny because, I mean, anytime we were out, like, if there's more than one amputee,
Would you
unheard of.
guys? So then, for someone who doesn't have that, would you rather like someone come up to you and ask, like,
Oh.
"Oh, hey, how did you know?"
yeah,
Because
that's,
I know a lot
yeah.
of times they think it's like, like you were in the military and it happened that way. Because I think people relate that to,
yeah.
you know, war or whatever. But
Man,
you know.
yeah, I don't mind that at all. And then, like, I mean, if people ask, like, if if they can ask with confidence, like I appreciate that, because I know they don't feel sorry for me, and like sometimes they'll come up and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry for what happened." I'm like, "Well, what you sorry for?"
Yeah, because they
People
don't
be like almost in tears.
They
like,
don't understand.
Man, that sucks. I'm
Right.
like, no, I'm blessed, man. Like I'm walking.
Yeah.
Right.
I could be not here. They're like, no,
True.
that sucks. I'm like, well, that's how you see it. But
Yeah,
I'm good.
I have no problem talking about it at
Which
all.
is why, I mean, I hate to think of it this way, I guess, but that's not that, I mean, we're chosen, but this
Right.
God already knew, like, the way you could handle
Yeah.
that. There's just some people that
Yeah.
wouldn't, like, they would
Yeah.
have given up, or they would have just
Right.
stayed in the bed and not even tried. And,
Right.
so I think just y'all's spirit of not giving up, you knew that you could handle that, so.
So what's life like now? So you're 4 years out?
Yeah.
4 years in remission.
Yeah.
5 years, the big 5-year mark.
Yeah, it's coming up. Well,
But all your scans, all that's been good.
oh, that's been good, man. Definitely blessed for it.
And you're going to school, college.
Yeah,
So
so
what are
I'm
you trying to
finishing
do?
up my last semester at UTA.
Last semester.
All right.
Bachelor's?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
Kinesiology,
Right.
exercise
Kinesiology.
science, clinical health.
then what do you want to do?
Nice.
So I eventually want to go into physical therapy school. As a backup option, I wouldn't mind going into prosthetic school either.
Nice.
So those are just two options I have in my mind. It's two things I'm very passionate about. I can remember wanting to be a physical therapist since I was in like junior high. I just didn't know exactly what it was at the time. But especially going through my experiences, and even now, and then working in a physical therapy clinic, like there's no doubt that I want to help people in a similar way. And then a lot of times you can find people in those fields that like aren't as passionate about it, or like are just in it for the money. But like for me myself, I don't care how much I get paid for it. I went into school with the intention of like I legit want to help people and want to be an encouragement to others. Cause like even where I'm working at now, like the patients can get frustrated for very good reasons too, and they don't see progress within themselves that we can see. So sometimes I can share my story and just to give them something else to think about whenever they come in, and but also like just as a person, I've gone through all that, but I also come into work like happy and have joy in my life, and then just bring positive energy despite what I've gone through.
Right.
And so there's no doubt that either prosthetics or physical therapy is something that I want to do. Like I haven't thought about doing anything else. So
That's
good,
good.
man.
Yep.
Yeah, man, you're gonna help a lot of people, which you already have.
Yeah.
You've already helped a lot, and you're gonna help more. And I think no matter which road it is, he's gonna bless you. You already know that. So just sticking with it. So, but that's all. I mean, I didn't know you had one more semester. I know you've been working hard and you've been taking summer classes and all that, trying to get it all done. So that's awesome, man. That your one hurdle is almost done.
Yeah.
To getting the bachelor's degree. That's big time, man.
Trying, man.
From a chemo hospital bed to a bachelor's degree.
Yo.
That's awesome, man.
Just taking it day by day,
Yeah.
man. Just haven't even looked to see how far.
So,
Yeah,
a funny story
Oh.
with Devon.
Oh, okay.
It's actually popped up in our
What?
it popped up in our Facebook memory. He already knows what I'm gonna talk about. So I got asked. I don't think we both did. I think you reached. The mom found him, but they asked us to do an event for a kid in New Mexico.
Yeah.
We've never done an event outside of Texas besides Oklahoma because Roderick's up there. So I didn't know how I was gonna do, but I think the mom said, they already had something set up. They just wanted us to come out and play.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, but it was just me and Devin. I mean, nobody else could go with us. And then John went with us. He drove us out there.
Right.
So we're driving on the highway, and we're still in Texas, I think, right?
Yeah, we're
Probably.
Still in Texas.
Long time.
And John's going cruise control, but he's speeding.
Yeah.
So we get pulled over by a state trooper. I'm John's chill, I'm chill, Devin's chill, but Devin's in the back like You were sleeping maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
But John's like, I got a gun in the car. And then I was like, oh, you do? And he's like, yeah, but I got my license. It's all good.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just got to let him know. So I was like, okay, like, sure, I've never been in this situation.
Yeah.
So the cop comes to my side because he's trying to get from traffic. And Devon's on my side, but in the back.
Uh-huh.
And as soon as the cop comes up, John's like, hey, just to let you know, I got a gun in the glove department. I got my license right here, all that. And he's like, man, thanks for sharing that with me. I appreciate it. So the cop was real cool.
Yeah.
Real laid back. So he shows him all the registration stuff. And he's like, yeah, man, thanks for telling me. I appreciate it. You just speeding. Why are y'all speeding? What's up with why are y'all going so fast? And John's like, oh, we're just trying to get to New Mexico. These guys, they're doing a charity event for this kid, has cancer, and we're just trying to get to New Mexico to do this event. And he's like, oh. And then he looks at Devon in the back, and Devon's just kind of chill, got his hat backwards, all that.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, so what do you do? What do you say? What do you play?
He's like, what position?
Yeah, what position do you play? And then Devon says,
I just told him I'm a straight shooter.
I look back, I'm like,
just called it a day.
bro, don't say I'm a shooter.
Straight
Well, we just told the cop we got a gun in the car. But the cop thought it was funny because he's like, oh, okay. He kind of knew we were like freaking out, like, why did he say that? So the whole ride there, the whole trip, we were giving Devon a hard time. But some of the stuff Devon comes up, I'm like, bro. Not shooting guard, or
He's a straight
I'm the best shooter on the team, or I'm just a straight shooter.
I let him know
like,
the
man.
wrong person.
Thankfully, that cop was cool.
Yeah.
But
Y'all don't look like you're out doing anything bad. So.
it was
We
fun.
would not get far if we did.
So anytime
Yeah.
Devon's in the car with me, I'm like, no shooter talk. Or if you get pulled over, just play it cool.
Good time.
Well, I guess you'll know, kind of wrap that. So, out of everything, what do you kind of want people to, come away with as far as like your story so far, your journey so far? If you could have one thing they remember, what would you like them to know about you?
I mean, everybody who's asked been like, what got you through it? I'm like, it's really only my faith. 'Cause like I told you earlier, I don't know how else I would have gone through it. And they also say, like, I don't know if I could go through it. I'm just thinking, well, if anybody could get in that position, their goal is just to survive. So it's not like I could have changed the fact that I was just trying to survive. But me, I may come off as strong, but I mean, I definitely have hard times, and then have emotions that aren't always visible to everybody else. I mean, just be aware that somebody may have been through something that you have no idea about.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm no different than everybody else. Scott's no different from everybody else. We're still human.
Yeah.
We still work out, even though we different.
Yeah.
But we're nobody to be scared of, man. I already know I'm one of the chillest people anybody could meet, so I have no problem talking with anybody, man. So
Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and letting us do this with you.
yeah, I
Our
appreciate
first
it.
one.
First
So
guest.
yeah, our first guest. So we really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to
Yeah.
just seeing what else you have going for you,
Sure.
Devin. So yeah, we're real proud of you. So
Thank you.
yeah.
They like family, so
Yeah,
we
y'all
appreciate
too.
it, and
Sure.
I just know whatever you do, God's gonna bless it and
Right.
take care of it. So it's
Absolutely.
just cool to see you still giving back, still going, and when
Yeah.
stuff doesn't go your way, because I've seen it not go your way, you're just like, it's all good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So your attitude inspires me a lot, because
Nice.
sometimes I'm not like that, but then I see how you are, so it inspires me. So hopefully people that watch this learn more about you and how you
Right.
really are, and then I know at least there's gonna be people that watch this and get inspired by you and touch some lives.
Mhm.
They may be going through what we went through,
Yeah.
or going through a hard time right now. So that's kind of why I wanted to share your story, because it's pretty powerful. And You're an okay guy, but
Yeah.
no, like I said, you're family, man. So
Yeah.
As well.
we appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Just keep on lifting.
It's been a minute. COVID don't want to allow it.
COVID. Yeah.